As an educator, as an observer, as a special educator, one of the things I've noticed across a wide um, age group, um, range of ages and grade levels, has been children counting on their fingers, or this lack of fluidity with numbers. Um, Kids oftentimes who have the most difficulty with mathematics are the ones who have this inability to make generalizations about numbers, or to see numbers as being these rigid blocks, and they can't manipulate numbers. And what I mean by that is, when we see numbers like 10, we see these numbers as combinations of 5 and 5, 2 and 8, 1 and 9. Um, but we're able to play with them. We're able to break these numbers into smaller components. Children who have difficulty with mathematics, who struggle with mathematics early on or later on, they have this rigidity where they see numbers as being um, these immovable blocks. Um, so many times, when you ask a child with these difficulties, a verbal math problem like what's 7 and 5, a lot of times they'll do one of two things. They'll count out with their fingers, or they'll draw it out. Um, as an addition problem on paper, or they'll draw it out, in drawing objects, 7 plus 5, and then it counts it out. So then I'm able to make these generalizations about numbers. Now, when we hear about 7 plus 5, we automatically think 12. One of the ways that we can do that is, we know 7 and 3 is 10, and then 3 more, and then 2 more is 12. So we create this anchor of 10 when we're doing 7 and 5. Or when we're looking at 5, we have 5 as the anchor, and we know 5 and 5 is 10, and 2 more is 12. So one of the concepts that I really want to develop with younger kids, or kids who have difficulties with mathematics, is these anchors of 5 and 10, or concepts of 5 and 10. And one of the ways that I do that is using Blackline Masters, which I've made using Publisher, or you can find them online. They're usually known as dot frame cards. These are 10 frame cards, and they're 10 frames because they have 10 boxes. It's a 2 by 5 array, 5 boxes on top and 5 boxes on the bottom, and as you can see, there are dots in each of them. So this would actually represent the number 10. This would be a blank 10 frame card, and this would represent the number 0. But before we use 10 frame cards, I think it's important, especially when you're first using the dot frame cards, is whether it's a younger group or it's the first time you're using them, is to start with 5 frame cards. So 5 frame cards it's just a 1 by 5 array instead of the 2 by 5 arrays. And when I'm first introducing this to a child, I'm just giving it a very basic, just letting them know this is a 5 frame card, and some of the counters I have. Just take some of the counters out. And these are just very basic chipboard counters that I found in one of the art rooms or the woodshop rooms. I thought it fits perfectly with my 5 and 10 frames. The first thing I do with kids is, I'll count out 3 counters, put it on the frame, and just ask children to make some observations. Tell me about what they see. A lot of times they'll say, well, this is the number 3, there are 3 counters. Okay, great, thank you. Another thing they might say is, well, this is the same thing as saying there's 2 less than 5. Or this is 5 minus 2, which is 3. I've heard that also. the point isn't, about right and wrong. We want kids to make these generalizations and have them explain what they observe and why they observe what they observe. And after they become more comfortable with the five frames, is we can start building some of their generalizations. We can start building their anchors of five. And what I mean by that is you can start using other five frame cards and having them tell us what number it is, how much more to 5, how much less than 5 this number is, have them complete it. 2 and 3 more counters is 5, or 5 minus 3 counters is 2. So we're having them hands-on, we're having them work with the 5 frames. So they're developing this anchor of 5. So eventually, once I've worked with children for a while using these activities, basically what happens is we start treating it like flashcards. They'll see a number 2 and they'll automatically say 2, 3 more is 5, 5 minus 3 is 2. And we'll do that for, like the wide range of numbers from 1 through 5. So after they develop the sense of 5, we can move on to the next progression, which is an anchor of 10.